You quote that is completely unquotable. Like, you shouldn't remember as much of it as you do.
At work today, somebody brought in banana bread. Hell yeah. My mom always told me that if you're patient, good things will come. And banana bread at work came today. Hell yeah. Some things are worth waiting for, like banana bread at work. And there's a lot of things in this world that aren't good, like scratching your eye and it's still itching. Hell no. Paid not enough for how hard you work? Hell no. But banana bread at work, dude? Hell yeah.
Is
Have you
that a
ever
new
seen?
is that a new Bill Sarsgaard movie?
Have you ever seen this clip before?
I have not.
All right, good, because I'm I'm so pissed off about it, and I'll tell you why. Because
Hell no.
because it's not right.
What do you mean it's not right?
So the whole purpose of that video was like, hey, what is something that you remember that you shouldn't, like you remember most of it or whatever that was, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Dude, I got some fucking banana bread at work today, dude. Hell yeah. My mom told me if I wait for things, like good things will happen to me, dude. And fucking I waited for some things and I got some banana bread at work today, dude. Hell yeah.
that other dude did not even almost quote this right, like at all.
No, he
I
didn't do it.
was
He didn't do it justice at all, bro.
so like when I watched this, like a friend of mine sent this to me, and I was so pissed off. By the way, welcome to Discussions and Other Stupidity. I'm Mike. This is Sane, homie over here, just chilling. Let's talk about this for a second because misquoting was something that I was like really, really bad about doing like a lot of my life. And then I started making sure that I didn't quote shit unless I knew the quote.
Right.
And when that played and I had to show Misty, I'm like, I'm so mad about this clip and I shouldn't be that mad because it is so misquote. But that's one of my favorite videos of all time is the I got
banana
some
bread at
fucking
work.
banana. I used to say that. Somebody brought banana bread to work one day and all day, all I did was just quote this video.
Next time Martha bring it up to the station, I'm gonna like film it and then I'm gonna use that voiceover in there. Cause she be bringing that banana bread, bro.
Bro, Martha is that one who like makes her own homemade pizza dough
Cookies and everything.
cookies,
Yeah.
her monster cookies. Anyways, Martha's a girl that a woman that we used to work with at I used to work with the radio station. You still do. But so like in this whole misquoting thing, the banana bread, it made me feel some type of way. And then Misty goes, have you ever stopped to think for a second that maybe he did it on purpose? And when I watched it again and again and again and again. I'm like, I feel like an asshole. Maybe he did. Maybe he was trying to get a rise out of me. And the more I watch it,
maybe he was putting his own spin on it and he was trying to do it from memory.
So
the personality wasn't there. I'll tell you that.
That's the reason that I don't believe that he did it on purpose. Now, the thing is, he might get more views after this. Somebody might go try to watch that video. I don't know. And I'm cool with talking about him. And I don't have any hate in my heart towards him because like great job connecting with me directly because that is something that I know way too much of is that quote, that whole video. Yeah. But I started thinking about back to like other things that could be misquoted. I'm over here like this dude could literally be like telling somebody about Star Wars and he just pops in out of nowhere and he's like, your father, Luke, I am he. Like that is how badly I feel like he screwed that up. And so anytime somebody almost like just slightly misquotes something, it comes back to one of the previous episodes.
You get mad about that?
It comes back to one of the previous episodes when I'm like, things that I need to leave behind. I need to not get so mad about people misquoting things. And like I find myself doing it all the time when somebody says the quote wrong, I will correct them in that moment and then laugh with them. And they're just like, they're so mad at me. I need to stop doing that. But like that's what that did. My friend sent it to me and I watched it no less than 35 times in a row and got even more mad every single time I watched it. Every time it looped, I got even more pissed off.
But wait, what about when people like post themselves playing like guitar or something on TikTok and they ain't really playing that guitar, but they're making it like a music video.
Yeah,
And so
yeah.
they're like playing a guitar solo, or that one dude who just sits there and goes, "Pop, pop, 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 pop." And then
Mhm.
you're like, man, you ain't really playing that shit. But
I mean,
but it's got like 6,000 views. So like I'm gonna get my guitar, just go do 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 do. But I'm gonna actually go do 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 do,
but
and I'm
that
gonna
that
post it being a asshole or something.
and it's not gonna do half as well as that dude who just like music video dubbed it over.
Nah, man, TikTok hates me, bro.
Bro, it's okay. They hate me too. They love Misty, my wife. They
I
love
know.
her.
I've been seeing her videos
Eh,
cleaning showers and shit.
I know. See, so you saw that. That was a free
I
product.
did
That's
see that.
that's that money right there. I
But
ain't even gonna drop the name.
I'm at home being like, did you use like Windex or
Oh, with
vinegar?
the extra grime or whatever?
No, fuck the grime. I'm talking about just in general.
Yeah, we do that often. This like cleans it a little bit deeper, like gets the stuff out that,
Oh,
you
it
know,
gets in the glass, like
it's a
inside it.
it's
It
like,
gets
yeah,
in.
it
Yeah,
penetrates it deeply.
it does.
Is that what you're looking for here? So
it
wait.
kind it kind of was. I mean, like I'm not gonna lie, that's what I was going for. Yeah. And when you brought me there, and we went there together, and it was beautiful.
I love how forward you are in this moment right now. So,
Yeah.
so you were telling me about something right before we started. You said about Keanu Reeves, and I'm always like interested when somebody says something
Yeah.
interesting about him, and I'm like, tell me more.
So I was on TikTok,
No
and
way.
I know, it's crazy.
So you're on
It's
TikTok,
I
Keanu
was on
Reeves.
TikTok, and this post came through, and it's the ones with the photos, but it's like a ask Reddit thing. And so it said, what's a celebrity rumor that you believe to be true? And so I'm scrolling through, and some of them are stupid. And like one of them was the Rob Schneider using people from Home Depot to like choke him. And I'm like, that's a Family Guy reference. So I'm scrolling. And
I remember the Family Guy reference.
yeah, and then I saw one, and it was by the username from the Reddit was Trap Hag, and I thought, well, they can't be wrong with that kind of a name.
That's a
And
credible source. That's like Wikipedia.
it is, and it said Keanu Reeves writes dystopian literature under the name John 12 Hawks. Trust me, you heard it here first. Now, it's not the trust me that I was like, oh shit, but it was the you heard it here first that I was like, they are on to something. It was posted 8 years ago.
Are you?
No, according to the TikTok that I saw. And I went, what's going on? Because if Keanu Reeves writes books, is there anything that dude can't do? And I have to know, like, everything up here came to a screeching halt. Like, nothing mattered for like a half hour.
You just deep dive. What is
I
it called
did.
again? What is it called?
It's the author is John 12 Hawks, which is a Keanu Reeves name.
That's very Keanu Reeves.
Yeah, like that. I would expect that from Keanu. And so one of the books is about a time traveler. And then and then I saw one that was about a assassin, and it's called Spark. Now, Mike,
I'm trying to find stuff about this. I'm like,
he has a Twitter. John 12 Hawks doesn't have an Instagram, doesn't have a FB. I didn't see no pictures of him because that was the first thing I looked at. All I saw was book covers because, author.
bro, I see it. Spark. There's a whole bunch of random dudes that pop up in the pictures on here, but
yeah, so you don't know.
okay, I'm gonna share this for a second because this is blowing my mind right now. Like,
Dude, that's what I thought. I was like,
what?
and I don't read books. Like, I'm not a member of the writer community or like,
Or the
I
reader
don't.
community at that.
Yeah, like I don't I got an Edgar Allan Poe book that I
This-
use to like impress people.
You talking about this?
Yeah.
Is this really Keanu Reeves?
I don't know, but I bought the book. It's gonna be here on the 2nd.
Because this is who John 12 Hawks is. This is the only picture that pops up.
Yeah, see, that's what
Well,
makes me
that's not true. This pops up for some reason.
okay. Like if you were
This
Keanu Reeves and you didn't want everybody to know you was Keanu Reeves, you would use somebody who could pass as some kind of actor.
some kind of John 12 Hawks.
Yeah, you would
Dude,
get a guy and you would be like, you look like a John 12 Hawks.
that's different.
That's
Okay,
so
so
Keanu, man.
I'm gonna have to look into that and really see if that's true because that's like
It's like the craziest thing I've heard today.
there's nothing confirming that, and I'm still
No.
intrigued. I'm still
Yeah,
intrigued.
I gotta know.
The fact that you said you heard it here first is where you were like, I sure did. I sure
That's-
did.
That's what I said. That is what I said. I was like, I heard it. I sure, you know what? I did. And
You
if
know what?
it ever becomes like a thing, like national news or something like that, Keanu Reeves actually wrote books for like 25 years. I'd be like, man, I already knew that.
I remember you have a hand up on the viewership of that day. You've got
They'll
the
be
leg
out
up
there
on it.
interviewing people, and they'll be like, and now we go live to Barnes and Noble, and they'll be like, we talked with people who came here who found out that Keanu Reeves writes novels under the surname John 12 Hawks. Let's go live to people, and they would come to me. And I'd be like, man, I knew that. I seen that on Reddit one time.
I'm still here for his autograph because you doing a book signing today. Like that's what I imagine. That's the news. That's the news story. Is that
I'd be like, hey yo, shout out the podcast, discusses the other stupidity. Follow us on the socials. Isn't that what people do?
I think so. Like smash that like.
Yeah, smash that like.
Or smash that share, like subscribe or whatever the hell.
Yeah, man. Like all.
Anyways, so like, thanks for sharing that golden nugget there.
You're welcome.
You had said something else that just threw me completely off guard. So you're coming. So if you haven't listened to the past few episodes, I'm gonna give you 5 seconds to click out of here into one of those, and then you can catch up.
Okay.
Honestly, stop counting. I hope that was 5. So anyway, so the thing that you said to me, because you live in Oklahoma, I live in New York, and you're coming to visit, coming up pretty quick. You said, by the way, when I come, do I need to bring anything? Like clothes, Sane clothes. That's the. I mean,
I'm gonna.
Did you want to bring like a 5-layer dip? What are you talking about?
Hey, like
you just pop up out of the airplane like I kept it cold. We just gotta heat it up when we get there.
Bro, I could get some S&Bs and wrap that up in like some paper.
Don't you play with me.
The saran wrap. And
I don't do free advertisement, but I will always promote.
The only problem is I got a
S&B's
9-hour flight and I got a 5-hour layover in Chicago. So when it get there, it ain't gonna be edible.
Why? Because you will live eating it?
Well, no, because you're only supposed to keep food like at room temperature for like 4 hours before it go bad and start growing bacteria. And I ain't trying to do that to you.
Let me tell you something.
Okay.
We have all in our life left pizza out drunk.
For days. Oh yeah.
The day before.
And the day
woke
after.
up the next day. And the next day and had a slice out of the box without heating it up. And if you haven't, I can't relate to you. I'm sorry. Really sorry. Did I heat both slices up? Yes.
No.
I did.
Why?
Because I have standards. Okay.
What? Oh, so what? The microwave kills the bacteria, son?
I don't know. It could also give me cancer. At this point, I ate the shit and I enjoyed it the way that I like it. And that's piping hot to the point where it melts the roof of my mouth and it's just flaky for like weeks. You know what I'm talking about. See? Exactly. You know exactly what I'm talking about when you eat pizza too early and it just starts flaking the roof of your mouth.
And you make that noise where you're like, you know that?
So it's funny. I saw a video a long time ago. Somebody was like, this is how most people in the world eat pizza. They bite into it and it's too hot and they spit it out onto the plate and everything just sits there and they're like, oh wait, this is how Americans eat pizza. It was that exact same noise you just made. Most accurate thing I've ever seen.
Bro,
Most
we
accurate
do
thing.
though.
It is
Like,
crazy. Yeah, we're then spit it out. What is wrong with you? This is a whole pizza. Like, chill.
yeah, bro. Like, just throw it in the fridge for 4 or 5 minutes.
Leave it out on the counter for a day. You'll be fine. Like, that's kind of where I'm at about it, though. Like, it's okay. But at the same time, I will go off on my wife for leaving something out and the next day trying to cook it for me because, again, now I have standards. It's different. It's different now. We've all been there, though. If not, then just talk about something different.
I mean,
but
it's all right. That pot roast got to thaw sometime.
Now, back to the original thing. When you said, do I need to bring anything? When you said that, all that came to mind was, bro, when I asked that, like, have you ever gone to a gathering and before you show up, you ask that question?
Yeah, that's why I always ask, because that's what you're supposed to do.
Supposed to. When I ask that question, I don't give a, and this is me being transparent. Shout out to all my friends who I've said this to. I don't give a damn what you want me to bring. I am still just bringing what I want to bring. Like,
oh yeah.
If you say something specific, like we could use some cups and knives and forks, I'm like,
first off, why you need knives and forks?
I don't know, but if somebody says something like that or ice or something, I walk in with like a bag of chips, some cookies, and like some random dessert that I made.
You
like
just ornery.
That's what I mean, I'm sorry. Like, I just don't
ornery.
listen because I know that none of those items are probably going to be there, and so I'm bringing them so I can have them. Because if you tell me to bring potato salad,
they was planning on you bringing cups,
then I can run back to the store and be like, oh, I forgot the cups. Let me go grab those real quick. You got any money? Like, I'm not spending my money on your damn cups. I'm bringing what I want to bring with the money that I'm spending on it.
You just ornery. That's all that is.
You've known that about me.
I just don't bring anything.
I know it's the most beautiful thing. You don't even ask usually.
No, I do ask, and then they always say the same thing because everybody know I'm po. They be like, just yourself, and I'm like, cool. And I do.
When you coming out here, when you get on that plane, because you're flying. Yep. Have you've flown before? You've flown to like Seattle.
I've flown, yeah. I've flown everywhere.
Okay, so like
500,000 times.
So you're just comfortable with flying?
Yeah, I don't give.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because like the first time I flew like on a plane was like when I was like 13 years old, and I flew from Little Rock to Jacksonville, Florida, because that's where my mama lived, and so I used to go back and forth there during the summers in my youth.
In my youth.
I flew before 9/11.
Dude, I flew before 9/11.
So I got
twice.
So I got to see the before and after of that.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't remember flying like what the flight was like before 9/11. I don't.
It was pretty much the same.
But I lived. I lived
security.
It's weird because I lived on an Air Force base before 9/11, and then when 9/11 happened, I want to say I no longer lived on the Air Force base, but we would still go to like shop for groceries. We would go to see my dad and stuff. And I will say the security on that bitch before and after was insane.
Yeah, it was. It was
after
crazy.
So base housing was where we lived. Before 9/11, it was open. Like you could just drive in because it was just where the housing was for the military folks and their family. You could just drive in. When 9/11 happened, bro, they put guard stations at every neighborhood entrance.
Yeah.
And then they amped up security like I remember that. But I couldn't tell you anything about flying on a plane pre. But also post 9/11, I'm on the TSA pre-check. That game right there.
Oh, they looking at you.
No.
Oh, they wouldn't?
No, I'm one of those guys who gets to go through a metal detector. I don't have to take my belt off. I don't have to take my shoes off. I don't have to take my laptop.
You got some kind of clearance, don't you?
Well, yeah, anybody can do TSA pre-check as long as they meet all the guidelines, and you can Google it. But like, yeah, it costs some money. But bro, I've never been late to an airport and been worried about it.
Oh,
Because like
I
you
ain't either.
get through security, you just different. You just don't worry about it in general. I don't
Nah,
worry about it
I'm
because I'll get in within 10, 15 minutes, like through
nah. So
security and
I
everything.
get there. I usually get to the airport like an hour earlier, and
I
then I'll
can
go get through everything, and then I'll walk around the airport for a little bit and check out all the stores and look at the overpriced shit.
mm-mm. I
That
only
stuff,
look at
bro, they are proud of their stuff. They be like,
bro,
"You
those
want this
liquor stores.
magazine? It's like $400."
Not 40, it's like 40, but you're right.
It's
You're right.
people.
What?
I don't know.
I don't even understand that.
Do you? Where was you? Was you in school when 9/11 happened?
Yeah, I can tell you exactly where I was. It's crazy because I was in the 6th grade and my one of my teachers, yeah, I was young. One of my teachers had been from New York,
Oh wow.
and she wasn't my main teacher, but so in her class, what we did as a project was we planned a trip to New York, and so we researched New York online. We looked up all kinds of different stuff,
Right.
and like we planned out meals, we planned out like what the cost was going to be, what flights we were going to take, like all of that stuff. And like we learned a lot about New York City, and that's kind of when I fell in love with New York City. And then like that year after that, like somewhere in that period, it like September after that project, 9/11 happened. And you know what? When I think back to it, I never checked on that teacher. I never checked back on her
You
to
don't
see
know
how
whether
she
yeah.
well, she was in Arizona. We lived in Arizona,
Oh, okay.
and, I never really looked back at, like, how that impacted her because her family's
Mm,
from New York, like, I
yeah.
New York City, and she
Yeah.
she talked like, the like,
Oh,
with
she
the thick
talked like
accent.
that?
Yeah, like, the thick accent and everything, and she was true New Yorker through and through, and I never really focused on how she was taking that.
Bro, I ain't talked to none of my teachers since high school. That's why I was in
Well,
I was in I was in I was a senior in high school.
you were a senior in high school when I was in
Yeah.
6th grade?
Yeah, bro.
Bro, that's
It's
sad. No,
yeah, man.
I'm kidding. I'm sorry.
I was in study hall first period. And I was asleep, and the teacher
Mm.
came around and like, Sane, wake up. What? And she was like, a plane just flew in the building. I'm like, well, okay. And then they turned it on the TV, and then you saw the second one fly in.
Yeah.
I was like, God damn, who driving that? And I didn't know at the time what was going on because, I smoked a little bit before school.
So when I think back to it, of course you did senior in high school. What's funny is 6th grade, I did too. So the thing is that when I remember now, I was at home when it happened, and
Yeah.
my mom never really tunes into the news. It's my dad who watches it. But my dad
Yeah.
was at work and the news was on and it was turned up loud, and my mom was just sitting there staring at the screen, and I'm like, "What?" And
Bro,
she
yeah.
just points, she goes, "Some planes flew into the World Trade Center." And you know what I said?
What?
Mom, what is the World Trade Center? That was the first time I'd ever heard of that thing. I have no idea what it was. I didn't know what the purpose it served. I didn't know anything about it, but I remember
Yeah.
all about New York City. And she said
Yeah.
it's one of the tallest buildings. It's two of the tallest buildings in New York City.
Yeah.
A plane flew into it, and it was like
That's
real early in the
crazy.
morning. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
telling you. And I'm like, that's insane. But I remember watching it before they collapsed. When I got to school, they
Uh-huh.
collapsed.
Yeah.
And that was just wild to me because every classroom, all of us had the TV on and everybody was watching it.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
It
I
was
remember
like
I
I
remember that.
remember like we watched the news all day. Ain't no work was happening.
Same, like we
Yeah.
tried to, some of us tried to, but like people were like being real emotional about it, and I truly
Yeah.
did not and I remember after that, you know how they say like acts of terrorism like that, or like
Yeah.
big acts like that will
Yeah.
cause they will cause
Unity.
unity and patriotism.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Majorly. Bro, I started worrying about nuclear war. My cousins would talk about it. It would freak me out. And I really
That's why
started
I
like,
don't care about it now. Like, cause
honestly,
every other day it's like, oh, we're about to have nuclear war. I'm like, well, y'all shut the fuck up and just do it already. Y'all
bro,
talk too much.
I'm 7th grade roaming around like like just these like my cousin lives in like a mountainous area. And so we're just off roaming throughout like this little mountain area. And one of them goes, "Man, it's crazy what's going on in the world. There's going to be nuclear war." And then he runs off into the woods, and I'm just standing there alone. Like, I don't know if I'm more worried about mountain lions or like a nuclear wave coming over that mountain. Like, I have no idea. I'm seventh grade. Like, what is wrong?
You're just standing there like Morty after Rick leave him, and you're like,
yeah. I was literally blown away, and I shouldn't have been. I was a kid. Like, that's just it was just crazy time.
But now you just numb to it. You know.
Honestly, yeah. Like now,
Yeah,
I mean,
whatever.
you watch like 6 beheading videos. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
And we just got canceled.
That I think we already did that last week. So,
Yeah, that's fair.
so can we call out the elephant in the room?
What's the elephant?
It's only an elephant for me because we haven't really talked about it a whole lot. You had something happen to you, and I want you to go into depth because you told me briefly, like just a little bit, and I just need to hear about this. It was a very, very serious moment. Let me just preface with that. I understand that the severity of what happened, but talk about it, please. Please.
All right. So in 2016, I was diagnosed with Wolff Parkinson White.
Which sounds really hairy, by the way.
Yeah, yeah. It's at least it's not Walter White. But
you'd be richer, but
yeah, you're goddamn right. Jesse! Jesse!
Dude, every time I want to do an impression of Jesse, I always revert to the voice of Jeff from American Dad. Yo, Mr. White. Like, it's not at all accurate whatsoever. I don't know why that's where my mind goes.
I don't either.
Anyways, Wolff Parkinson White.
Yeah, so basically, like the electricity runs through my heart faster than it's supposed to, and then I have an extra ventricle that the electronic waves go down, which causes the heart to flutter and beat profusely. And so over the years, like I probably should have died like 3 times.
God.
Yeah. So I've been to the hospital, like the ER, like on and off since like, 2016 with different emergencies. And so last week it was another one of them emergencies. It shot up to like, 180 BPM. And
man, that's a fire ass track.
Yeah, it was dum, 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 dum.
Actually, it's more like doom, 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 doom.
No, no.
I'm doing halftime. I did halftime.
Oh, okay. You're doing
DJ mine. I'm sorry, my DJ mine. I'm over here trying to see, like, man, you can mix like into that. You can, which is actually like 100. Anyways,
yeah. So I go to the ER. I call my boss because he was close by. Him and my other boss, they was at Chili's for lunch. And I call him up. I'm like, bro, I don't want to freak you out right now, but you think you run me to the ER real quick? Because I ain't calling the damn ambulance, and I can't be driving with that going on. Because, like, if I black out on the road, that ain't good. I've only blacked out once or twice with that situation.
Jesus Christ.
I know.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. So I go in there, and they hook me up. They run the EKG in there like, oh, yeah, you're having, And I'm like, yeah. And
that's what they said. That's how they said it.
Yeah. I mean, it's Oklahoma. So they give me different medications every time I go. And the last couple of times they've been giving me an anxiety medication called Ativan. I don't know if you know about Ativan. If you don't, it's fucking good.
I thought oh my God. That sounds like I want to buy a Lamborghini, but I also want to add a van. Like, can I get that Sprinter?
Yeah. It's that new from Acura, the Ativan. That dude got an Ativan. No, so Ativan is like Xanax. It's in that same family. So fentanyl, Xanax, Ativan, it's an anti anxiety medication, but it also slows your heart rate down. So I'm laying there and my heart's going crazy, and I'm looking at the doctor or the nurse, whatever he is, I don't know. And he's just talking to me, and he's like, so the heart rate messing up again? Like, yeah. And he's like, okay. And I look down, and he's like pressing his thumb on a syringe going into my IV, and I look at him. I'm like, "Hey, man, did you just give me that Ativan, bro?" And he's like, "I think I did." I was like, "I knew something was going on." So then this has never happened before, and every time I'm going to the hospital, it's always something different. But this one threw me. So they got the little nurses with the little keyboards and the cart with the computer on it, and they just roll in and roll out kind of thing.
Just nonchalantly, like standing
Just
there with
nonchalantly
you,
roll in
chewing
with
gum.
keyboard. Hello, how are you? I'm on a gurney. How you think I'm doing? Like,
It's the worst question you could possibly ask somebody
I'm
who's laying on
saying,
a gurney. How we doing today?
yeah.
The fuck?
So
Read
I'm
the
laying
room.
there, exactly, and I'm gone at this point because they pumped that Ativan directly into my IV, and I'm like,
That Sprinter van on you. Like,
yeah, bro. I smoked 2 joints before I smoked 2 joints type vibes. You know what I'm talking about?
shit.
Dude, I was so high. I looked like a saw did. Like, for real. Like, so she comes in and she's like, I need to verify information from you. Worst possible time you can want to do that, but let's go.
Because you're like,
Like,
it's
I'm
just
supposed to
gone.
remember my social security number right now? Like, come on, lady. So she's asking me like my name and my birth date and like last 4 of your social, where you live, all that type of stuff.
Yeah.
And then she says, we don't have this on file, but what's your religion?
Are you serious?
Yes. And I went, well, today I'm Christian. Because at that particular moment, that was the weirdest time to ask that question.
I mean, like, I'm on a gurney.
Yes, but I look outside the door of the room I was in the ER, and there's this big contraption off to the side, off to the right side of the room. And there's all these new nurses and doctors. There's like 5 of them standing out there with this big contraption. And I'm like, what's going on? And she's like,
Was it like
okay,
Megatron's leg or something? Like, what is
it
it?
looked like Megatron's leg. I didn't know what it was. I couldn't really see it because they was trying to hide on the other side of the door. But they were
They were
all
hiding?
they did not put the machine in the path of the door. They put it off to the side thinking I wouldn't notice it. And then they're all standing out there with their hands behind their back like a bunch of NBA players waiting for the national anthem to end. So
What a simile, bro. Oh my God.
So then I look at the lady, and after the religious question and seeing that contraption out there that I didn't know what it was at the time, I said, what's going on? And she said, okay, by the way, today you have $100 copay. I'm like, why y'all trying to get money before I die? Like, you reading me you might as well bring the preacher in here, read my last right. You asking me about my religion, you want money, and meanwhile, there's a gathering outside with a big ass contraption. What's going on? And so,
bro, her bedside manner was
it was off the charts.
out
Her name was Cynthia. And God bless Cynthia. She was a nice person. She was just doing her job. Anywho,
I mean, shit.
The nurse dude come in and he's like, hey, how you doing? I was like, I'm on Ativan and I'm freaked out right now.
It's not working.
I was like,
supposed to be anti-anxiety.
bro, y'all might have to move up to morphine at this point, my guy. And he's like, this is a chest x-ray. And I went, oh.
You over here thinking about to like zap your heart or some shit?
Yeah. So he's like, I need you to lift up your shirt. And I'm like, all right, cool. I was like, so you gonna x-ray my chest right here? Like, we don't have to go to another room or nothing? He's like, no, we'll do it right here. I'm like, y'all motherfuckers efficient.
Bro, they think you're about to die.
So, like, Mike, I don't know how to act.
Bro.
So what did I do? Because the dude said you're going to have to lift up your shirt. So what did I do?
Oh, you son of a bitch.
Like I was at fucking spring break. And they're laughing.
So you... It is such a you thing to do. You just...
I did. And they're like laughing and they're trying to center it. And I'm like, come on, Picasso, take the fucking picture.
It's not even an accurate representation.
Not even an accurate representation. Again, the meds they be giving you up there is strong as hell, Mike.
You could have said you want to paint it, Picasso. Just take the picture. That would have made sense.
It would have, but I did not think about it at the time.
Because you were high and dying, apparently.
Indeed. So they take the X-ray and then they dip, and then I'm laying
They just
there.
left you?
Yeah, they didn't.
Nobody
say
stayed
nothing.
with you?
Nobody said nothing. They don't, because they're not allowed to say anything when they take pictures of stuff. Like if they do an EKG, I'll be fucking with them because I'll be like, "Yo, so what's that looking like over there?" And she'll be like, "I can't tell you. The doctor has to go over it with you." I'm like, "Come on, man, you know what you're looking at." And they're like, "No, I can't say anything." I was like, "But if it was an emergency, I wouldn't be allowed to leave the room." And she's like, "Yes." And I'm like, "So is it an emergency?" "No, so I can leave." "Yes, so I'm not in any kind of immediate danger." "Will you just go?" "All right, bet." So I don't know why they don't like me.
Because you literally over there pushing the buttons. There's other people who can't speak that they would rather be operating on at this point.
So after about like an hour, like the doctor finally comes in there and he's like, "Hey, how are you?" And I'm like, "Well, y'all stop asking that."
I'm laying on a gurney.
I got it's cold and they won't turn up the air. So I got the little robe on.
Oh, so you got like a nice draft going on.
Yeah, I got the robe on, but it was cold and I still had my pants on. And so I put my hoodie on
I'm
top
proud of you.
of my robe. Yeah, I ain't taking my pants off. I don't know what they be doing up there. Like, I'll show my titties.
All day for
all
no
day.
beads. You don't even need
no
beads.
Yeah, you ain't got.
I got a wristband.
$5 and nothing. But the pants is where we draw the line.
All right.
So he comes in and he's like, "Look, your EKG shows that you have Wolff Parkinson White," and I'm like, "I already know that." And he goes, "Oh, okay."
Did you know that Keanu Reeves writes?
I was like, "Man, y'all are pissing me off. Can I go?" And he's like, "Yeah, you need to follow up with your cardiologist." I was like, "Oh, I will." And he's like, "Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to prescribe you some of that Ativan." I was like, "All right."
Yeah, you are.
Yeah. I was like, "How much are we talking about here, Doc?" Like I became real close with this dude immediately when he said that. I'm like, "Yo, you want to hang out later? What's happening?"
So do I blow you now or like do we
Right,
what are we talking here?
Like,
Also,
let's go. Yeah, let's go on.
Can you front that, by the way? I don't know if my insurance is gonna cover that shit. I promise I got you on the back end.
I got you on the back end. Hey, but let's go in the back real quick and listen to Master P or something. But so I leave and they put me on another blood beta blocker heart regulator thing that I've been on like 5 of these over the years.
Blood blocker, blada blada blood.
Yeah, I don't know what it means. They just be saying stuff, and I'd be like, "All right."
This sounds like
Because
this sounds like
it's
one
called
of those...
it's called a beta blocker. That's
Okay.
what the medicine is called. I don't know what beta is blocking. I assume it's like, it's like you know how people always talk about like they're alpha males and shit.
Oh
So
my
I
gosh. You think it's been fucking...
Yeah, it's like you don't want to be a beta male anymore, do you, Sane?
Then let's get your testosterone up. That's not what it's doing, bro, at all.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's regulating the old The old ticker, as the old white people would say.
The old ticker. Oh my god, that was the oldest, whitest thing you could.
Oh, they got to get me on my old ticker here. So I'm taking it's called Metropause. So I'm taking that.
Is it like menopause, but like before that?
Yeah, it's Metropause. But it's not pause, it's Paul, P-O-L.
I thought you said pause. I was like, what the hell?
No, it's Paul. So I started taking it last week, and then a couple days ago, I went to my regular cardiologist. His name is Castigier. Just thought that was,
bro. That sounds like
he is
like
one
an
of
evil supervillain.
He's one of the coolest doctors I've ever met in my life because he's real tall, but he just like straight up talk. He'd be like, "Well, you need to lose some weight."
So I've gathered he's foreign.
Yeah.
You sound so upset about it.
I'm not. No, I actually kind of prefer it. Like if the white doctor come in, I'm like, gone.
Are you gonna ask me how I'm doing now? Is that
yeah. Because that's what they do. You know, Dr. Castigier comes in. Well, after looking at your records, it just says that you're fat. And I'm like, cool. Thanks, doc. How's your anxiety? I was like, it's high. It's always high. He goes, yeah, you should probably see a therapist.
You're like, no need. I got Ativan.
Yeah. So I asked him about that. I was like, so this Ativan, man. He goes, I can't prescribe you Ativan. I was like, oh, okay. He goes, no, you have to see a regular doctor. I was like, all right.
It's fun. I got a guy.
No one that'll be all right with, you know.
So I know you can't get it to me, but do you know a guy?
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 Listen, like all jokes aside, we shouldn't be promoting drug use and like saying is a good thing, especially if it's in the same family. Obviously, Sane needs it. I just want to preface that. I don't want anybody getting all bitter, like you're drug use. If I'm dying, I'm taking Ativan. If it's for my heart, like come on now.
Yeah, it's not really for your heart though. That's the thing. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, take it. Fuck it.
Well, I'm glad you're okay. Was that the end of the story? I didn't want to cut you off anymore.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
I mean, I'm glad you're okay. Thank you for entertaining me with the. I knew I could if anybody could make light out of that entire situation, it was. I did this, so I have a similarly structured. I have a similar perspective on when my son was born because it was an emergency C-section, and that was the I hate you. So that was the most traumatizing 15 minutes of my life. I'll tell that story another day, another time. But all I could remember were the hilarious things after the fact. But in the moment, I was like, I'm dying. What the fuck? You know, and I wasn't even in any real harm. It was my wife who was who was under the needle. And
that's the worst part. Like to me, like is not being on the other side, being on the gurney and having all them wires hooked up to you and stuff like that. It's being the person that is waiting, because the first time that this happened, that was like real serious. It was back when I was with Voldemort, and what?
You're not laughing. It makes it even better.
I was just kidding, but
you weren't. But anyways,
but they gave me fentanyl. And then they hooked up the patches to like do the clear thing to electroshock me. And I was conscious.
Hold on. This is a very serious situation, but like you said,
look, man.
I'm crying right now. This is horrible.
You know.
Continue.
So she was there, and they were like giving me fentanyl, and they were hooking up like the stuff to me, and they were about to like, you know, clear type stuff. And I was conscientious, and she was in the room, and they grabbed her and they said, Voldemort, would you like to go to the lobby? And
He goes, oh, God.
that's how I ended up there. She Avada Kedavra me and shit.
But you were the boy who lived.
But no, they pulled her out into the lobby, you know, when they did that. And like
Voldemort.
yeah, they pulled her out there. Her and Bellatrix Lestrange and all them was out there. Hagrid. Hagrid looked at the doctor and said, "No! What are you doing?"
This should not be that funny, and I'm so sorry because it's a very serious moment of yours.
That was the one where I almost died. They said
I
that was
remember
like,
you.
I
We
was
were
like
on the
10
show
minutes.
together.
Yeah.
You were literally
No.
10. We weren't on the show?
No, this was the start of 2020. This was December 30th, 2022. The one that we were on the show together, that was the ex-wife.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's
who
right.
is not Voldemort.
Right.
No, I got a different name.
We're not gonna go there. That's right. It was 2022.
Yeah, and that started the series of events that led Voldemort to.
That was the Triwizard Cup. Is that what you said?
Yeah, it was. She put her name in the Goblet of Fire.
Now she Harry Potter all of a sudden. Which one is she? Well,
No,
technically,
because
they both were,
Voldemort
yeah.
was the one who had Harry Potter's name put in the goblet.
That's true.
But
That's
he
true.
got Cocaine Man, who did the thing to put the name in there. Who would yeah, that guy, yeah.
Crouch. Do you know how old Harry Potter is?
Let's see, 2001. It's 23 years old.
Yeah. The third one turns 20 this year.
That's
And like
crazy.
that aged the shit out of me because like every time I watch Harry Potter, I'm like, nah, it just came out. Like
Yeah.
it's literally
But it
brand
didn't
new.
know.
And
But it
at
didn't
all.
know.
But there
No.
was other things that I saw that
But
like
like when you go back and watch it, you know, it still look cool.
it does. And like there's things that actually there's so many things that turned 20 this year that like really aged me a lot. I mean, as if
Yeah.
everything we've talked about today isn't aging us. So do you know how old Shrek is?
No.
Shrek is so old that the second one turns 20 this year.
Damn.
I know.
When
And
did the first one come out? Was it like 2000 or 2001?
I'm gonna be honest, I'm really
It
horrible
had-
at this show prep stuff.
Yeah.
Wow.
I
Thanks.
mean,
it was
I ain't gonna
2001.
argue.
It was 2001. Yeah. And so like that turned 20 this year. Kill Bill 2. So the first Kill Bill is older than that.
Yeah.
And then Anchorman turned 20
that
this year,
out.
which
That
is
checks out.
crazy to me because it does
Yeah.
not feel like it was 20 years old. There's other movies and
So with Anchorman turning 20 this year, does that mean that it escalated really quickly? And that it really got out of hand?
so Mean Girls also turned 20 this year.
Oh,
Wonderful reference, by the way.
thank you. The only
Beautifully
one
done.
that was, you know.
We're gonna sit here until you say the only one that was what.
The only one that was like the most used from that show.
Honestly, it was the one that everybody used.
Mm-hmm.
I remember. It does not feel like 20 years ago though.
It doesn't. That's crazy.
Because I remember when Anchorman came out, everybody was quoting it, and I had seen the entire movie just watching morons at my high school just recite the lines.
Right. Yeah. I was
does
in
not feel
college.
like-
I was in college when Anchorman came out. And yeah, so like all the white kids were like
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen. Like, bro, will you shut up? I'm trying to play 2K over here.
I know, like Seth Rogen over there just fucking screaming in your ear like Anchorman
Yeah.
quotes.
We all betting $5 a game on NCAA 04. Like, what are you doing?
NCAA 04. That ages me too. Jesus.
Because that
Like,
was the
and
year Anchorman came out.
I know.
So
I'm mad that you remember that so clearly. But then I started looking into songs that turned 20, and it broke my heart.
all right, what do you got?
So, If I Ain't Got You by Alicia Keys,
Yeah.
Let's Get It Started feels like it's 20 years old. Like, it feels older than that.
Yeah, that
That's
song
one
feels
that
like it's from the 1990s, honestly.
honestly, that's one of those ones.
The bass kept
So
running
Let Me Love You.
by Mario,
Yeah. 1-2 Step,
Sierra.
Akon, Locked Up.
Oh, Locked Up.
20 years old, bro.
God, that was a great song.
Yeah.
That whole album was good.
Yeah, that was a really good album.
The Trouble album. That
Yeah,
was a
Trouble.
good album, man.
Because that was the album where Styles
It had
P
Styles
had
P did
the
Locked Up with
remix.
him. Yeah,
Yeah.
Styles P did Locked Up with him. He had the song Lonely, that was on there. And
It sure
then
was.
my favorite song on that whole album was Ghetto.
Ghetto,
Ghetto.
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 Jeez, 20
That
years
was
old.
that was a jam, bro. I still
Bro,
listen to that song.
bro, that song can vote. That is insane.
Yeah, that song can
That's
vote.
That's not no, the one so I gotta read, so a friend of mine actually texted me this exact quote, and that's what sent me into this rabbit hole, and I, like, started really tearing up about it. Um, "Drop It Like It's Hot" is equivalent to Journey songs for our parents in the '90s.
Say that one more time.
"Drop It Like It's Hot" is equivalent to Journey songs for our parents in the '90s. Right. It
I
just
mean
hit so much different when my friends shout out, Amanda is my homie that sent me that. That hit me so much different when I thought about it that way.
yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
Especially because like people have like I know people that like are in their late 30s, early 40s,
Mhm.
and there are two people that they really want to meet, and it's always Lil Wayne and Snoop Dogg.
Yeah.
Like
Honestly.
people just Snoop Dogg can do no wrong. It don't matter.
Snoop Dogg can do no wrong, and he does not look 20 years older than when now he does. He's
Now
kinda
he
getting up
does.
there.
Yeah,
Now
he's
he does.
aging now. Yeah,
See, I knew
you can see it now.
when Snoop Dogg started aging, I started to really feel
Yeah. Like when
like
that
like
first gray hair came in, back when he did that reggae album. Remember that reggae album he did?
Oi, oi. Red light, stop
That's
right. Eddie
that's when I
Murphy.
knew. That's
When
when I
Eddie Murphy
knew.
dropped that one track and it was featuring Snoop Lion.
Yep.
There
Snoop
where
Lion.
you are.
That's
Dude,
what it was.
that was a jam,
You know,
bro.
Eddie Murphy had a song in the 80s that was popping.
Which one? He
It's
had
called
like he
Party All
like
the Time.
yeah, it's Party All the Time, but then he had Boogie in the Butt.
Yeah, Boogie in the Butt ain't got nothing on Party All the
Boogie.
Time though.
Party All the Time, bro. That
That's
video is hilarious when I go back and watch it.
that song is actually good though. That's what's crazy. Like you can listen to that and be like, yeah, my girl do want to party all the time.
Bro, I started singing "Put a Little Tiny Man in Your Butt" at work, and I just realized it was the wrong place and the wrong time. I do
Yeah,
not work in radio anymore. I can't just do that.
that's why I worry about getting a real job too.
Oh, that's why.
Yeah, cause man, you know me. Like I
I
can't be professional.
I know, especially on Ativan.
No,
You got real somber for no.
no, I can't
by,
even do it.
by the way, Mike, you in New York, you know a guy.
Oh yeah, so about that. What you need me to bring when I come up there?
I hate you so much. So this is discussions and other stupidity. Mike and Sane with you. Don't forget to catch
Oh, dude.
us on YouTube. If you're not listening to this or watching this on YouTube, there may be some like visual aspects that you missed out on. Make sure that you're catching that, and then also hit us up on social media. We've got some bonus content up there. Whenever I get around to it, I was just so worried about you, baby. I was just so
I
worried
know.
about you.
I
All
know.
right. Okay.
That's why I text you like nonchalantly. Hey yo, check out where I'm at.
Dude, you literally I'm gonna put that up on our Instagram and like just anywhere because
Are
like
you gonna put the comparison to me and Saw dude?
Absolutely. I'm putting a whole bunch of it on there because you just were messaging me some off the wall shit. I'm like, let's talk about the fact that you're in the hospital. Anyways, catch more of that bonus content again on our social media. That's at DOS Podcast. And make sure you catch us next week until I say next week because that's how delayed I am in posting episodes lately. So that being said, just behave yourself because we out this mug. Stay off drugs.
Wow.